Hello, hello, hello. I think this has started now. Okay, cool. Um, I'm doing another quick update for the Paris 2024 Olympics, like news coverage for what's been going on. Um, there's a horse, an Italian horse who was eliminated for having blood in the mouth during the dressage phase of the eventing. So I wanted to talk about that because like every time a horse has a bloody mouth, at the upper levels. Sorry, there's gonna probably be children running in and out of here because my nephews are visiting. Hi, Elijah. Um, so the horse is eliminated for having a bloody mouth in the eventing phase, just eventing dressage phase. And every time this happens at the upper levels, I always see people claiming, like the article, which I'll show, just give me 2 seconds. Um, they claimed that the horse bit its tongue or its lip near the end of the test and that he has been checked by vets and there's no serious injury. And like the tongue or the cheek being bitten is like the most common excuse that we hear for why there's blood in the mouth at these levels, but it doesn't really like anyone who shows and rides horses can probably speak for how infrequently this should be actually happening. And yet at the upper levels, it seems to be happening an awful lot. And so we need to consider why these things are happening at, oh my goodness, Elijah. This is Elijah, my nephew's Afro unicorn stuffed animal that's not wanting to show up because of the Elijah. Um, but yeah, so careful, sir. Do you just want to sit here and we'll talk about horses? Okay. So just don't touch any buttons, please, okay? So at this level of competition, the fact that we're seeing stuff like this happen more often than we tend to see in lower level competition is quite a concern. Um, and there's always the excuse of it being the lip or the tongue bitten, which with the level of frequency people need to consider, because even if it is that case, it's not like the fluke occurrence that people try to make it come across as. Um, Horses are more likely to bite their lip or their tongue when they are really stressed and nervous, and that might be why we're seeing such an increase of these things at the upper levels of competition, if it actually is indeed the lip or the tongue being bitten. But I personally think it could be due to how handsy the riders are being in competition and just um sorry and just a result of the stress of the horse combined with the types of equipment being used and just how harsh in the hand a lot of the riders are being. There you go. Um, and I think that's why we're seeing it at a greater instance, but it really shouldn't be happening that way because it's just this is supposed to be the best of the best riders being showcased at these levels of dressage. So anyways, this is a photo of the bloody mouth that I'm gonna show you guys. There's two, yeah, two photos on there. Um, and yeah, so Italian event rider, I'll get you the name for them. It was Emiliano Portali, I think. Is that how you say it? Emiliano Portali, I'm assuming, or Portal. And his horse's name is Future. So yeah, we need to really start seriously wondering why this stuff is happening at such an inflated rate at the upper levels of competition. Because it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be happening to the extent that we're seeing it at the top levels of competition. Um, so I think that rather than just giving people the free pass of being like, oh, they bit their tongue or their cheek, we have to consider the fact that like there's a reason why we're seeing this happen so often because also like especially the Olympics, like this is when horse competition is being internationally viewed during the Olympics. And you would think people would be the most careful. And like a lot of people also use the excuse of like, oh, it's a new environment. The horses have traveled across the world to compete. But something to keep in mind is that these horses have been traveling across the world to compete for their entire competition careers. They've been competing internationally for their entire competition careers. So if they're adequately prepared to be at the Olympics, it should be a situation where they are not so nervous that they're biting their tongue or their cheeks because they're gnashing their mouths like that, or the riders are not so handsy that they're creating blood in the mouth by pulling. So it should be highlighting the best of the best, and the horses should be adequately prepared, is basically what I'm saying. And we give them way too easy of a pass by just being like, oh, it's just hello. It's just the result of them biting their cheek and it's like a freak accident because freak accidents don't occur this often. Um yeah, if you can't tell, it's very distracting having little ones talking in the background. But anyways, this is like the very first equestrian event of the Olympics, and we're already seeing issues arise. So it's not really looking good for how this is going to continue to go. What I have noticed though at this Olympics is that they do seem to be cracking down more for welfare infractions. So this rider got eliminated, whereas in Tokyo there was that show jumping horse that was bleeding from the nose for the whole of its course and didn't get eliminated. And then there was also some photos that went around the other day of the Brazilian rider Carlos Pero riding in hyperflexion, and he was actually issued a warning. So that's good because it's not something that would have been clocked in previous years, I don't think. I do think the only reason they're doing it is to try to stay on the up and up and not have people questioning the ethicality of the sport, and they're just trying to look good on an international scale. The fact that they're actually trying this time around is a good thing. So that's promising at least. The rider that got eliminated, let me double check because there was a British rider that got pulled from the jog and had to re-jog, but apparently didn't get eliminated. I think the rider that got eliminated was from, it was, let's see. No, sorry, the rider who got eliminated in dressage was a Brazilian rider. Or no, sorry, it was an Italian rider. The Brazilian rider is the one that got the warning, and then there was another horse who was eliminated in the jog the other day, um, and deemed not fit to compete. So yeah, like it's already like we're not off to the greatest start, and I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just laughing because of like the ridiculousness of it. It's just getting really tiring to just see how often all this stuff just keeps happening, and I'm getting unicorns thrown at me. I gotta go. But anyways, I think that we need to not let people off with the easy excuse of just biting the lip or the tongue, because then it's like a way of inadvertently blaming the horse and being like, oh, this is just a thing that happened, rather than looking at why it's happening so much more at these levels with riders competing on an international scale. Uh-oh. So just some food for thought. This is going to be a really brief one because it's very distracting. We have the unicorn again.